A year composed of 365 days, or perhaps 8,760 hours, or even 525,600 minutes, and a metric-ass load of seconds. This is how long it takes for our home planet to orbit the sun in order to continue the natural order of things. And on this day in particular marks a very special day for our Harmony-only account. Why, hello there! And welcome back to our Harmony-only challenge. Today is quite the special day, because today we celebrate not only the fact that our Harmony-only account is officially 1 year old at this point, and we still haven't managed to edit the entire series to this day, but also celebrate the progress we've made during our adventures, and show you all some very huge major power-ups we acquired while editing this anniversary special. And with those power-ups, we then delve into the hardest content the game currently has to offer, to see if our Harmoneers will rise or fall in the face of overwhelming adversity. And if that sounds like a good time to you, we would very much appreciate if you would consider liking, commenting, and perhaps even subscribing to the channel. It would truly mean the world to us. But without further ado, let's get into the anniversary special for our Harmony-only challenge. So jumping into the summons, upon claiming our 5 standard and star passes from the monthly supply store set, we headed over to the standard banner in order to cash in on what we thought at the time was going to be a bunch of 3-star light cones. However, we didn't realize we would be so wrong. And in a stroke of good luck, winning a 1 in 7 chance, we managed to acquire Eidolon for Bronya, now granting Bronya a fixed 50% chance of recovering 1 skill point when using her skill. And while this does have a 1-turn cooldown, it is still a rather potent power spike for her in terms of supporting the rest of our Harmoneers. But then we got thinking. You see, with Feixiao's debut banner, she also brought along rerun banners for Kafka, Black Swan, most importantly Robin, and after pondering whether trying to get a 1 Robin would be the best call for our account, we decided to give into our gut feeling and test our luck a bit, which turned out rather, well, extraordinary to say the very least. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Luck really took a liking to us during these summons, granting us 2 more Eidolons for our girl Asta, which not only grants her some extra energy regeneration, but also a handy little boost to both her basic attack and her ultimate skill. And while those are absolutely amazing pickups, the real star of the show was being able to secure Eidolon 1 for Robin. So now when Robin is in her ultimate state, all of our Harmoneers are now granted a ludicrous 24% all-type resistance penetration. Which means as long as Robin is in her ultimate mode, all enemies now become easier to break in combat, which, needless to say, is amazing considering our main team is primarily focused on breaking targets. Now, typically in a normal episode, we would take the win and end it there. However, this is not a normal episode, this is our anniversary. So having checked our savings in the Starlight Exchange, we noticed we were really close to being able to buy ourselves a 5-star light cone. So we decided to do another 10 pull on the Robin banner. And not only were we able to get the required amount of undying Stardust for said light cone, but we also managed to secure the final Eidolon for our girl Asta, meaning her and Hanya are now our only maxed Eidolon characters on the account, granting us yet another considerable boost. And so, with our undying Stardust in hand, we head back over to the Starlight Exchange, where we buy Bronya's light cone. But the battle isn't over, which is yet another huge power spike for her. You know, looking back on the earlier episodes of Harmony only, We truly have soldiered through our fair share of hardships during this challenge, whether that was just getting Asta out of the Herta space station alive, or absolutely slogging our way through the bosses of Jarilo 6 the planet, where this challenge almost failed on more than one occasion. But in between those hardships, our roster continually expanded, which over time gradually brought us to this point, and even though some of our Harmoneers didn't come as willingly as we would have liked at the early days of the account, we can say with absolute certainty that it was worth it. So in this next section, we'll be going over our Harmoneers in order of arrival, breaking down where they're at and where they're headed in the future of the account. So we'll see you there.
Hi, the name's Asta. I'm the lead researcher on Herta Space Station. I'll be sure to let you know if I need your help. Don't worry, I think you'll be hearing from me.
Asta, the Harmoneer that started it all, originally recruited in Episode 1, Asta and Tingyun were our main everything at that time, slowly overcoming each obstacle put in their path. But these days, we have Asta set up in our Harmony-based break team alongside Ruan Mei, the Harmony MC, and Robin, and it is in that particular team where Asta has really come into her own, being able to damage, break, and support the team in a variety of different ways. And considering we have Asta built primarily as a break DPS, that's quite the feat on her end. Now, we are aware that her stats could be better, and we are trying to make them better, but unfortunately, these stats are a result of both experimentation on our part and very poor RNG regarding our relic rolls. And trust us, compared to some of our other Harmoneers and their rolls, this will seem like the holy grail in comparison. But moving on to Asta's light cone, we have her on the light cone The Memories of the Past, which is currently at Superimposition 1. This light cone not only increases Asta's break effect by 28%, but also allows her to regenerate 4 energy a turn whenever she breaks a target, which is quite regularly. And when coupled with her chosen relic set, as well as the buffs from both Ruan Mei and Harmony MC, this light cone really helps cement her place within that particular squad. But before we get into her current relic set, as well as the future relic set we want to kit her out with, let's just go over her traces, which as you can see are currently maxed for our current equilibrium level. But now let's get into the meat of the build, and that is Asta's relic sets. So getting into Asta's relics, we currently have her on a 4-piece Iron Cavalry set, not only for the 2-piece break effect bonus, but also the various bonuses when achieving a certain amount of break effect on the equipped character, such as a 10% defense ignore when the character equipped with this set reaches 150% break effect, but that's not all. This bonus is made better by increasing super break damage by a ludicrous 15%, provided the equipped character has 250% break, making a rather solid choice for units like Ruan Mei, Harmony MC, and Asta. Now, with that said, let us share our ultimate goal for Asta. Firstly, we will be keeping her on the 4-piece Iron Cavalry set while focusing on getting these particular pieces. For the chest piece, we will be looking for a crit rate or crit damage chest piece, depending on which gets the better roll, while keeping our eye out for some speed boots. And all the while, we will be making sure to try and focus on getting the following substats: break effect, critical rate, critical damage, and finally attack percentage. Moving on to Asta's planar ornaments, we will be scrapping her current 2-piece set, the Phantylia Kingdom of Banditry, and instead replacing it with a tried and true Fleet of the Ageless, not only for the 12% increase to her health, which will allow her to stay in the fight longer, but also the 8% increase to attack when she has over 120 speed. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but this 8% increase from this set can stack with multiple versions of itself, meaning if all 4 Harmoneers are using it, it will grant us a 32% increase to attack, which is more than a fully leveled 4-star attack percent chest, making it a very powerful choice for this account. And during our farming for this set, we will be looking for a break effect rope in order to push us over the 150% break effect requirement for the Iron Cavalry set, and a fire attack orb just for a bit more personal damage for Asta. And during our grind, we will be looking out for the same substats as the Iron Cavalry set, which are break effect, critical rate, critical damage, and finally attack percentage. And finally, let's get into our Eidolons, as you saw from the summoning portion of the video. We managed to finally get the last 3 Eidolons we needed in order to fully max out Asta, turning her into quite the force on the battlefield. Which after so long on the account really does feel good.
My name is Tingyun, the ambassador for the Lawfu Skyfaring Commission Merchant Guild. Please, look after me from now on, benefactor.
Tingyun, one of the 3 saving graces of this account, originally recruited in episode 2. Her and Asta went through quite the difficult journey in Jarilo 6, that was until they were eventually stopped in their tracks by the Blazin space boss fight. But prior to that fight, Tingyun was Asta's perfect partner, giving her the damage boost she needed as well as the energy required for Asta to maintain her speed boost. And the more and more we played around with their rotations at the time, the more they complemented each other. But these days, Tingyun has found a place within a squad of her own, comprised of Tingyun, Bronya, Yukong, and a flex spot of either Sparkle or Hanya. And while the squad may not be as effective as our break team, the squad can still hold their own in a high-pressure fight rather well, which makes them a reliable team for instances where more than one team is required, such as the Memory of Chaos. Having said that, let's take a look at Tingyun's stats. As you can see, we are very close to reaching her sweet spot for her attack buff, only being short of 700 attacks, which should be fairly easily achieved by ascending her. And after we reach that sweet spot, we will be focusing mostly on her defensive capabilities from there, as for some reason, Tingyun has a higher than aggro value compared to our other Harmoneers, and as such tends to take more of a beating than the others. So now we have covered that, let's have a chat about her light cone of choice, which is the coveted Dance Dance Dance, which allows us to advance all of our allies' actions in combat by 16% at base. This, coupled with the fact that Tingyun's energy requirements are fairly low, especially when she has a few Eidolons behind her, really allows her to make solid use out of this particular light cone, and reliably change the tide of a fight in an instant. Now, getting into Tingyun traces, much like Asta before her, she is currently maxed out for this current equilibrium level, which brings us to her relics. Now, these relics are not even close to the final choices that we'll be using for Tingyun. As a matter of fact, the only set that will stay on Tingyun is the Fleet of the Ageless for the health and attack boosts it provides. So getting into our game plan for Tingyun, her endgame setup is kinda up in the air at the current moment. But why is that? Well, you see, for Tingyun to maximize her benediction buff, she must have 2,400 attack, and currently she has 1,700 attack, and the issue is that we won't know the endgame value until we max out both her level and her traces, which means we had to prepare 2 individual setups in order to compensate for this variable. So now that we've covered that, let's get into the first setup, which we'll use if Tingyun's attack doesn't reach the required amount. And that is a 2-piece mix and match using the Musketeer of Wild Wheat set and the Prisoner in Deep Confinement sets. Each relic set provides a 12% attack boost as their 2-piece bonus, equaling out to 24% total, and when coupled with the stacking bonus that we'll be receiving from the Fleet of the Ageless set, that will be a total of 56% attack boost, which theoretically should be enough to hit Tingyun's attack requirements for maxing out her benediction buff. But what if we hit the 2400 attack sweet spot before needing to optimize relics? Well, fret not, we have a relic combo planned for this situation as well. You see, given Tingyun's higher than normal aggro value compared to the rest of our Harmoneers, it makes more sense to maximize her defenses in order to accommodate for that, turning her into sort of a makeshift tank of sorts, so that she can utilize that aggro value in order to soak up some hits for the rest of the team. And in this pursuit, The secondary relic loadout would be composed of both the 2-piece Guard of Wuthering Snow set for the flat 8% reduced damage taken, in conjunction with a 2-piece Knight of Purity Palace for its 15% increase to defense. These two set combined with a few tanky substats will have Tingyun as thick as primetime Arnie in no time. So mental scarring aside, let's delve into Tingyun's Eidolons. During our journey, we've been lucky enough to summon 4 duplicates during our adventures, 3 of which were summoned in fairly close succession during the first 3 episodes of the challenge.
I am Hanya, envoy of the 10 lords. Out of the 4 duties of a judge, detention, interrogation, incarceration, and punishment, I am in charge of interrogation. Held in high esteem by the 10 lords, I am the wielder of the Oracle Brush, recording crimes and punishments.
Hanya, the second of our 3 graces on this account. Hanya was originally recruited in Episode 5 through both the Silver Wolf and Argenti banners, and while she was rather hesitant to join us, recruiting Silver Wolf and Argenti before Hanya decided to come home. But when she finally did arrive, Hanya really cemented her place on the account by absolutely destroying any potential roadblock that stood in her way, including a aforementioned Blaze out-of-space boss fight. During her time on the account, Hanya has proven more than once that she can throw hands, often surprising us with her rather potent damage output in most combat scenarios. And when we delve into her stats, it quickly becomes evident how she pumps out so much damage. Because much like Asta before her, she shares fairly similar stats, and again much like Asta before her, while her stats aren't terrible, they can certainly be improved quite a bit, which allows our girl Hanya to shine even more brightly than she already does. Now, having covered her stats, let's take a look at Hanya's light cone, which is the past and future. This light cone complements Hanya perfectly, allowing the next ally that deals damage after Hanya's skill to deal a 16% increased damage at base, which coupled with Hanya's innate skill debuff and her Idune 6 will equal to a total of 46% increased damage taken, making it a perfect fit for single target Harmoneers, such as Bronya and Yukong. Having covered that, let's move on to Hanya's traces. And much like Asta and Tingyun, she is also maxed out for our current equilibrium level, which means we can now move on to Hanya's relics. For her relics, we currently have her on a 4-piece champion of Streetwise Boxing, as well as our trusty Fleet of the Ageless for the HP and attack boosts. Now getting into the gameplan for Hanya. We have one goal in mind for her, and that is speed, speed, speed. And in the pursuit of that, we will be replacing Hanya's Streetwise Boxing set for a 2-piece mix and match setup composed of the Messenger Traversing Hackerspace set, and the newly announced set coming in version 2.6, the Sacerdo's Relived Ordeal set. These 2 set combined grant Hanya 12 speed, which may not seem like much, but it is important to note that upon buffing an ally using Hanya's ultimate, she will then increase the ally's speed by 20% of her own speed, making a high speed and attack investment worth it. And that is without factoring in other sources such as Ascension Traces, which provide an extra 9 speed, and with just that alone, we'll be looking at total of 21 speed before applying. Other means such as speed boots and any rollable substats on her relics into that total, meaning when Hanya does end up buffing one of our Harmoneers with her ultimate, she will be granting them quite the considerable speed and attack boost as a result. Now, having covered that, the substats we'll be looking for on our relics pieces are speed, naturally, attack percentage, critical rate, as well as critical damage. As we stated before, even though Hanya is classified as a support, she can reliably throw hand with the rest of our Harmoneers. So building her as a sub-DPS unit makes the most logical sense to us. Which means we can move on to Hanya's Eidolons, and throughout our journey on the account, we've been able to fully max out Hanya's Eidolons. However, that did come at the cost of having an Eidolon 30 Zue at this point. Which, albeit isn't the most ideal circumstance, it's a price well paid given how strong Hanya is. And who knows, Zue might join her sister on the path of harmony someday, right? Right?
My name is Ruan Mei. When saying my name, please don't run the syllables together.
Ruan Mei, our very first limited 5-star harmony character on this account, originally recruited in episode 7 of the challenge, Ruan Mei, much like Hanya, really didn't want to come home to the account, instead decided to toy with our emotions a bit and put us through the ringer. With a rather gut-wrenching 50-50 loss to Beilu, and many, many Zue Eidolons. But eventually, just like Hanya, Ruan Mei decided to come home, and when she did, not only did it bless us with a team of 4 Harmoneers at last, but thanks to her buffs she provided, we experienced our first real power spike of the account as a result. And that power spike only manages to grow more and more with every upgrade we manage to get her, making the emotional pain in summoning her worth it in the end. And with that, let's take a look at Ruan Mei's light cone, which is her dedicated light cone, the past self in the mirror. This light cone is just broken for any Harmoneer, as this light cone increases break effect by a humongous 60%, increases all of her allies' damage by 24% after using her ultimate. It also allows her allies to regenerate 10 energy during each wave of combat, and if that wasn't enough, if her break effect exceeds or is equal to 150% when using her ultimate, she will also recover 1 skill point for the squad, making it an invaluable choice for Ruan Mei and anyone else who follows the path of harmony. Now that we've covered Ruan Mei's light cone, let's talk about her traces, and much like our Harmoneers that came before her, she is currently maxed out for our current equilibrium level, which means it's time to have a chat about her relics. Now, currently, we have Ruan Mei on a 4-piece Iron Cavalry set, and that is purely because that's all we had for her at the time, as we were farming for both Asta and Caelus, and thought it would be fun to experiment a little bit. We then went on to pair this with our trusty 2-piece Fleet of the Ageless for both the maximum HP as well as the attack for our team. But for now, let's get into the game plan for Ruan Mei, and we start by immediately changing out the 4-piece Iron Cavalry set for one of her more meta picks, and that is the Watchmaker Master of Dream Machinations set. This set is a perfect pair with Ruan Mei purely for the fact that unlike Harmoneers with high scaling on their abilities, such as Tingyun, Robin, Bronya, and Sparkle, Ruan Mei only needs 180% break effect in order to fully make the most of her kit and maximize the extra damage granted by her Trace passive, the Candlelights, on Still Waters. This Trace passive, coupled with the 50% weakness break efficiency granted by her skill, as well as her all-type resistance penetration granted by her ultimate, allows this set to add yet another potent way for Ruan Mei to buff up her squad, making it a no-brainer for her. But now, let's talk substats. For Ruan Mei, we will be looking out for tanky substats compared to our previous Harmoneers. This means we'll be looking for HP, defense, effect resist, and a little sprinkle of attack, just so she can contribute a little sprinkle of damage in a fight. Now last, but certainly not least, let's talk about Ruan Mei's Eidolons. During her rerun banner, we not only managed to get her light cone, but also managed to secure ourselves her Eidolon 1 as well, meaning that when Ruan Mei uses her ultimate, all damage inflicted by our Harmoneers will ignore 20% of the enemy's defense, meaning that this, coupled with both her and Robin's resistance penetration bonuses, means that high defense targets will stand no chance at all.
Hey, I'm Sparkle. Got any cool daring quests or risky biz? Just hit me up. If it piques my interest, we can talk money. The main thing is about having a right of a time, right?
Ah, Sparkle, the third grace of this account originally recruited in episode 9, Sparkle has since been our good luck charm on this account alongside Tingyun. And that is because ever since Sparkle came home and blessed this account with both herself and her light cone, we have not managed to lose a 50-50 for any characters or light cone since then. And it's all thanks to our little red trickster right here. But getting into Sparkle's stats, well, we're just gonna be honest, her stats are not the greatest, and if any of our Harmoneers needed a tune-up as soon as possible, it would be Sparkle, but we'll cover that more in detail during Sparkle's Gameplan. For now, let's take a look at her light cone, which is her dedicated light cone, the Earthly Escapade. This light cone is tailor-made for Sparkle. Go figure right. As it not only grants Sparkle a very nice 32% critical damage boost, which is her main scaling stat, but also grants her 3 turns of a unique buff called Mask. And while this buff is active, she will increase her allies' critical rate by 10% and their critical damage by 28%, making it easier to hit that golden 2 to 1 critical rate to critical damage ratio. And if that wasn't enough, when Sparkle uses her ultimate to restore skill points for the team, she will then grant herself the flame buff for every skill point, restored up to a maximum of 4. And when gaining 4 stacks of flame, they will then be removed in exchange for granting her the mask buff, keeping up her 32% critical damage buff up throughout the fight, as well as the critical rate and damage buffs for her teammates, making Sparkle invaluable with Harmoneers such as Bronya and Yukong. So now that we have covered her light cone, let's have a chat about Sparkle's traces. And much like our girls before her, Sparkle's traces are currently maxed out for our current equilibrium level, which means it's now time to move on to her relics. So currently, we have Sparkle on a 4-piece Genius of Brilliant Star set, purely for the fact that we wanted to try DPS Sparkle during the early days of the account, which, while fun to watch Sparkle reenact Family Guy.
Here's your burger, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I need another $1.25.
Is that right? Keep the change. Roadhouse.
It didn't prove very effective as we got further and further into the tougher fights on the account. And while it was fun to try something new and unique, we think it's about time we get into the game plan for Sparkle, just to go over how we plan to fix her build going forward. Starting off with her planar ornaments, and this set of choice should come as no surprise to you all, as we'll be using the tried and true Fleet of the Ageless, for the extra HP for Sparkle herself, as well as the 8% attack boost for the rest of the squad. We know we're probably sounding like a broken record, but we cannot overstate just how useful these ornaments are on this particular account. But getting into Sparkle's main 4-piece set for her build, we will be replacing her currently equipped Genius of Brilliant Stars set with a newly announced Sacredos Relived Ordeal set. This set to Sparkle is what the Watchmaker set is to Ruan Mei, granting Sparkle yet another powerful buff for her teammates that just enhances her base kit, and the little sprinkle of speed from the 2-piece is the cherry on top for any Harmoneer, making this set a perfect choice for Sparkle. Now, having covered Sparkle's future relic sets, let's have a chat about the ideal substats for said relics. So having a critical damage scaling on her kit naturally means that critical damage is a vital stat to look out for. However, Sparkle also demands quite a bit of speed to really pop off in a fight. You see, by having a high speed on Sparkle, we can actually afford to give Harmoneers like Bronya and Yukong attack boots, as opposed to speed boots, as Sparkle's skill grants a 50% advanced forward when used, allowing her to bring Bronya and Yukong up in the combat order, meaning they can pump out more damage than normal. But while those stats are important, we will also be looking for some tankier substats in addition to them, such as effect resistance and defense, just to bulk her up a bit during high damage encounters like Feixiao's Echo of War. Now, having covered Sparkle's game plan, let's get into her Eidolons, and in terms of Eidolons, we have none. And that isn't due to a lack of rear-end banners for Sparkle. In fact, she had one not too long ago. However, the 4 stars on that banner were absolutely atrocious, and we didn't feel it was worth pulling on that banner for Sparkle herself. But in the future, when she gets a rerun, hopefully, with better for stars, maybe even Yukong. Hint, hint, we will definitely try to get her Eidolon 1 for the extra turn of her ultimate buff, as well as her team-wide attack increase of 40% while that buff is active.
Hello, guest from the Astral Express. I am Yukong from the Lawfu Skyfaring Commission. Welcome to the Xianzhou.
Yukong, originally recruited in Episode 9, Yukong was a very pleasant surprise for us when we were summoning for Sparkle's Light Cone, and has since become a key figure on this account, especially when it comes to the exploration portion of the account. And that is mostly thanks to her overworld skill, being just so good at getting around huge maps like the Lufu and Pinakini. But aside from that, Yukong also consistently impresses us on the battlefield fairly regularly, being one of our second single target Harmoneers to hit over 10,000 on this account without Robin's buff, which is rather astonishing given her current stats, which, let's be honest, are rather atrocious, with only 17% critical rate to 143% critical damage. Yukong is in need of a rather urgent upgrade session. But that being said, if Yukong can hold herself now with very poor relics, just imagine what kind of damage she will do once we give them a little spit shine. But we'll be covering that more in the relic portion of Yukong's breakdown. For now, let's take a look at her light cone of choice, which is the event Light Cone. For tomorrow's journey, this event Light Cone, which is originally designed as a free-to-play option for Robin, also works extremely well on Yukong, as it provides a rather substantial 30% attack boost for that turn after using her ultimate. But on top of this attack boost, Yukong will also be granted a rather whopping 30% damage dealt, allowing Yukong to burst down boss-type enemies with relative ease, making this particular light cone quite the solid choice for her. So now that we've gone over Yukong's stats and her light cone, let's talk about her traces. And much like the rest of our Harmoneers before her, she is currently maxed out for our current equilibrium level, which means it is now time for us to move on and have a chat about her relics and overall game plan for the future of this account. So delving into Yukong's relics, we currently have her on a 4-piece Wastelander of Banditry Desert set, both for her personal damage, but also the 10% critical rate when attacking a debuffed enemy. Now, the beautiful thing about this set is that any debuff can trigger the critical rate boost. This also includes Hanya's unique Burden debuff, which for those who don't know both restores skill points for the team, and thanks to her talent, also increases the damage dealt by 30% at Eidolon level 6, meaning that Yukong not only gains an extra 10% critical rate, but if she uses her ultimate during that turn, she will be inflicting a rather devastating 60% extra damage on the enemy, making this an extremely potent combo against bosses. And this is without factoring in the 20% critical damage increase if the enemy is imprisoned, which again adds yet another potent damage source for Yukong to utilize. But having covered that, let's talk about the game plan for Yukong. Starting off with her 4-piece relic set, which will remain the Wastelander of Banditry set, for its aforementioned synergy between Yukong and Hanya. And we'll be pairing it with the tried and true Fleet of the Ageless, not only for the extra HP that it provides, but also the stacking attack percentage granted by this set, which further pumps up Yukong's attack even higher, meaning we can actually afford to not use an attack percentage rope on Yukong, but instead use an energy regeneration rope, allowing Yukong to reliably activate the 30% damage boost from her light cone more frequently during battle. So having gone over the sets for Yukong, let's talk about sub-stats. So due to the fact that we're building Yukong as a DPS unit, the key stats that we'll be looking out for are critical rate, critical damage, speed, and either attack percent or possibly a defensive stat such as effect resistance or even defense percent, depending on how her final stats turn out when we finish ascending her. So having covered the game plan for Yukong, let's move on to her final section of this video, which is her Eidolons. Now unfortunately, our Yukong is only at Eidolon level 1 at the current time, and that is purely because of two very big reasons. And that is, firstly, Yukong very rarely shows up on event banners these days, which makes getting Eidolons incredibly difficult to do. And secondly, and the most common factor as to why our Yukong is only Eidolon 1, is in the off chance that Yukong does arrive on a limited banner, it is always with a 5-star character that we cannot use, or the 4 stars on that banner are just terrible investment, making the potential value of the banner a massive turnoff for us. But hey, who knows, maybe Yukong will be one of the 4-star characters on Sunday's banner. Well, hopefully at least, as we are quite curious to see what a Eidolon 6 Yukong can achieve.
Hello, good evening. I'm Robin, a singer from the family. No need for formalities. This is just a friendly offstage chat. Can you spare me a moment?
Robin, if Tingyun, Hanya, and Sparkle are the three graces of this account, then it's only fair to say that Robin has been our guiding light, originally recruited in episode 10 of the challenge. Robin has been a staple for our progression during this challenge ever since she joined this account, allowing us to reliably soldier through content that we really had no business trying to conquer at the time, like the entirety of the Pinakini storyline, just to name one example. And it is thanks to this utility that Robin has proven herself time and time again to be a rather amazing ally on this account, allowing for all kinds of Harmoneer combinations and teams to be viable during high-level play. And the most amazing thing about Robin is, in addition to all the utility that she provides, she's also incredibly easy to build as a character, which is reflected in her stats. Because unlike a majority of our Harmoneers, Robin only requires the most basic and accessible stats in order to become powerful, very similarly to how Ruan Mei only requires 180% break effect in order to fully maximize her buff. And in a similar case, Robin's unique damage buff requires her to have 4,000 attack in order to receive its maximum effect, and while that may seem like a ludicrous amount of investment, it is actually very accessible. As shown by her current stats, we're just shy of reaching the cap on her buff by only 1,300 attack, which by the time we finish ascending her and finish unlocking her traces, we should be very close to reaching that 4,000 attack requirement through the use of relics, but we'll cover that in the Gameplan portion of the video. But for now, let's move on and have a chat about Robin's light cone, which is her dedicated light cone, the Flowing Night Glow. Well, this light cone can be used on Harmoneers like Bronya and Yukong. It has the most value on Robin. Being her dedicated light cone, it's only natural that she would benefit the most out of it due to the passives that it provides. For example, we have the Cantillation buff, which increases Robin's energy regeneration by 3% every time an ally attacks an enemy. And with a maximum stack of 5, this means that Robin gains a free 15% energy regeneration for doing nothing, which in turn helps her regain her ultimate more frequently, allowing for big damage windows from the rest of our Harmoneers. But if that wasn't enough, upon using her ultimate, the Cantillation buff is then removed and instead replaced with the Cadenza buff, which not only increases Robin's attack by a ludicrous 48% at rank 1, but also increases all allies' damage dealt by a hefty 24%, making multi-hitting Harmoneers such as Asta and Caelus even more efficient at clearing out waves of enemies. So now that we have covered Robin's light cone, it is time to move on to her traces. And unfortunately, there is not much to say here, as much like our Harmoneers before her, she is currently maxed out for our current equilibrium level, which means it is time for us to move on to the fun stuff, and that is her relics as well as her gameplan for the future of the account. Now, getting into Robin's current relic sets, we currently have her on a tried and true 2-piece Fleet of the Ageless, as well as a very interesting and also very effective 4-piece set in the Champion of Streetwise Boxing, which is purely for the 5% increase to attack when Robin either attacks an enemy or in turn is the one being attacked by said enemy, which makes this set quite an easy set to stack and cap out during battle. And on top of that, this effect can also stack up to 5 times during a fight, meaning Robin can gain a respectable 25% attack buff during a fight, which further helps her reach her scaling cap of 4,000 attack for her buff, which is always handy before we arrive in the late game. But now that we've covered Robin's relics, it's time to talk about her gameplan for the future of the account. So getting into our gameplan for Robin, we'll be keeping her on a 2-piece Fleet of the Ageless for the extra HP and attack percent that it provides to both Robin as well as the rest of the squad. However, it's Robin's 4-piece relic set that will see the greatest changes as we proceed into the future of the account, replacing her currently equipped champion of Streetwise boxing set for a more simple to piece mix and match of both. The Prisoner in Deep Confinement set and the Musketeer of Wild Wheat sets. These two-piece sets combined grants us a rather decent 24% attack boost, which is just a minuscule 1% less than the Champion of Streetwise boxing set. Which means, unlike the Streetwise boxing set, we would no longer need to stack it up during combat, which then allows us to maximize her attack buff right away without any kind of ramp up, which also allows us to get rather creative with Robin's substats as a result. And while we're on the topic of substats, let's go over which substats we'll be looking out for as we farm for Robin's new relics. Starting off, we'll be looking for speed. However, we'll only be looking for enough speed in order to reach 120 speed on Robin, and that is for two main reasons. Firstly, it will activate our Fleet of the Ageless Ornaments, granting us the 8% attack boost. And secondly, given how Robin's attack buff counts down by 1 every time she has a turn, we plan to keep her at 120 speed in order to maximize her uptime on her attack buff, which means we will be using attack boots instead of speed boots, both to maximize her buff and also to keep her as slow as possible for maximum buff uptime during combat. And from this point, the remainder of substats for Robin will be highly focused on being more on the defensive side, which means we'll be looking out for stats like HP, defense, and effect resistance in order to bulk her up a bit in combat. So having covered Robin's gameplay and future loadout, it is time to talk about the final portion of Robin's character breakdown, and that is Eidolons. Now, provided you didn't skip ahead in the video, you'll know that during our anniversary summons, we managed to secure Eidolon 1 Robin from her rear-end banner, meaning Robin now grants all of her allies a 24% all-type resistance penetration, meaning she can now help her teammates break targets much more efficiently, making it a very valuable pickup for the account.
My name is Bronya Rand, heir to Belobog's Supreme Guardian and acting commander of the Silvermane... Apologies, I'm used to introducing myself like that. You can call me Bronya.
Bronya, once our greatest enemy and hurdle on the account, she is now turned into one of our greatest allies on our single-target Harmoneer team, originally encountered in Episode 3, and then recruited later on in Episode 10. Bronya really didn't want to join the account without putting up quite a considerable fight first, which required our guaranteed 300 standard summon reward in order to recruit her to the account. But with our complicated history behind us, Bronya has since proven that she can be just as lethal as she was during our Trailblaze mission on Jarilo 6, not only by providing some very potent and game-changing buffs through both her skills and her talents, but also with her potential to deal out quite a respectable amount of damage for a quote-unquote support unit. And this damage potential is reflected in her stats. As you can see, she shares fairly similar stats to Tingyun. However, unlike Tingyun, Bronya has a much greater DPS potential compared to Tingyun, and that is thanks to one key Ascension talent, and that is her command passive. This passive grants Bronya's basic attack a whopping 100% crit rate, which means that much like Yukong, we can get creative when building her, but we'll go into more detail about that later during the relic and gameplan portion of her character breakdown. For now, let's have a chat about her light cone, which is her dedicated light cone. The battle isn't over. This light cone grants the wearer a respectable 10% energy regeneration, as well as the ability to restore 1 skill point for the team when the wearer uses their ultimate on an ally. But if that wasn't enough, this light cone also debuffs the enemy when the wearer uses their skill, allowing the next ally in the turn order to deal 30% more damage for 1 turn. And it is due to these buffs and bonuses that this light cone provides makes it a perfect match for Bronya, and also a perfect light cone for our girl Hanya as well. And if we ever manage to get a duplicate copy of this light cone, it will 100% be going on Hanya. But having covered Bronya's light cone, it is time to move on to her traces, and much like the rest of our girls, Bronya's traces are fully maxed out for our current equilibrium level. which means it is time to talk relics and the future gameplan that is associated with them. So jumping into Bronya's relics, we have her on the tried and true Fleet of the Ageless for its 12% HP boost, and the stackable 8% attack boost it provides when Bronya has 120 speed or more. And we coupled it with the 4-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat set not only for the 12% attack boost it provides from its 2-piece, but also the extra 10% basic attack damage, and also the extra 6 speed provided from the 4-piece, which has proven to be quite the effective mix. However, we have something special planned for Bronya's endgame relics. So let's get into the game plan and have ourselves a little discussion, shall we? Starting off with the relic changes. Now naturally, we will be keeping Bronya on the Fleet of the Ageless set for all the various bonuses this set provides for both Bronya as well as the rest of her squad. That being said, the greatest change to Bronya will come in the form of her 4-piece relic set, where we will be switching out her Musketeer of Wild Wheat set. In place of the 4-piece Eagle of Twilight line set, not just for the 10% extra wind damage giving Bronya a bit more personal damage, but more so for the 4-piece set effect, which makes it so after the wearer uses their ultimate in combat. Their action is advanced forward by 25%. Now, the reason we are using the Eagle set over the Musketeer set is purely for the turn advancement effect that this set provides, as it pairs very nicely with Bronya's talent, which is called Leading the Way, which grants Bronya a 30% advanced action forward after using her basic attack, which in retrospect is a higher value than an Superimposition 5 Dance Light Cone, which means on turns where Bronya activates both the Eagle set as well as her talent, means she'll be able to cycle her way up the turn order without exterior help from Harmoneers such as Hanya and Sparkle, allowing us to focus those turn advancements on Yukong in order to maximize damage output for that particular squad. So now that we've talked about Bronya's relic sets, let's talk about the substats we will be looking for said sets. And much like what we did with Robin, the substats we'll be trying to get for Bronya will be taking a similar approach. Starting off with speed, and much like Robin, we will be looking for enough speed in order to reach 120 speed, just so we can activate the 8% damage bonus from the Fleet of the Ageless set. For the other substats, we'll be on the lookout for critical damage, not only for the fact that Bronya's skills scale on her critical damage, but also due to the fact that we get a flat 100% critical rate from Bronya's Command Trace passive. So by investing heavily into critical damage, we can scale up our basic attack in order to do some rather solid damage output. For the rest of the desired substats on our list, we have attack percent to further help us scale up Bronya's basic attack damage even more. And finally, we'll be on the lookout for some defensive substats in the form of either effect resistance or defense percent, just to bulk up Bronya a bit more. So having covered our desired substats for Bronya, it is time to get into the final portion of her character breakdown, and that is Eidolons. Now, thanks to our anniversary summons, we actually did manage to acquire Bronya's Eidolon 1, which grants her a 50% chance to recover 1 skill point for the team when using her skill. Now, unfortunately, this does come with the downside of having a 1-turn cooldown upon restoring a skill point. But hey, it's better than nothing, right?
When there is a chance to make a choice, make one that you know you won't regret.
Caelus, our first ever general character we got on the account, now turned into our latest Harmoneer on the account. Ironic, isn't it? Now, unfortunately, we can't tell you when Caelus joined us on the path of harmony, as we have not edited that far into the series quite yet. But what we can tell you is that Caelus has been a fantastic addition to the account, more notably in our Harmony Break team, due to the fact that his ultimate grants access to super break damage, which allows an already weakness broken enemy to take yet another instance of break damage, without having to lower another bar, which has proven very effective, especially when paired with both Ruan Mei and Asta. But on top of being a rather potent break support unit, Caelus has also proven himself to be quite the potent DPS unit as well due to his skill hitting an enemy or enemies multiple times. Now, Caelus's damage is quite potent for the stage in the game, which is quite amazing given his stats really leave something to be desired. And that is primarily due to the hefty break effect investment that we've been pumping into him, which may seem like an eyesore at the moment. But once we get into the relic portion of his character breakdown, you'll see the method to our madness and why exactly we've been pumping his break effect to such extraordinary levels. But for now, let's move on to the next portion of Caelus's character breakdown, which is his light cone. And for his light cone of choice, we have Caelus on a superimposition 3, Memories of the Past, not only for the sizable amount of break effect that it provides, which in turn helps us reach our desired break effect threshold on Caelus, but it also allows him to restore 6 energy once per turn when he weakness breaks an enemy, which further helps him maintain his super break buff, making it a rather perfect choice for him. So now that we covered Caelus's light cone, let's talk talents. And much like all of our girls before him, Caelus is also maxed out for our current equilibrium level, which means it's time to get into not just Caelus's relics, but also his game plan for the future of the account. Now getting into Caelus's relics. We currently have him on both the trusty Fleet of the Ageless set for the bonus HP and attack percentage it provides, and the Iron Cavalry against the Scourge set, which is the very reason why we've been focusing on pumping break effect on Caelus so heavily. And that is thanks to the 4-piece bonuses that this set provides. You see, when meeting the various thresholds of break effect on the equipped character, we are then granted various benefits. So as an example, by achieving 150% break effect, it makes it so any break damage inflicted on the enemy or enemies in question will ignore 10% of the enemy's defense, which is already quite the amazing passive. However, the set really pops off on Caelus when he achieves 250% break effect. You see at that point any super break damage inflicted, which Caelus constantly activates thanks to his ultimate, will now ignore an additional 15% of their defenses, meaning that it now becomes a 25% defense shred from breaking targets, which is something that Caelus does really well. So having covered Caelus's relics, it's time to get into his game plan for the future of the account, and in terms of changes regarding Caelus, there won't be any. You see, unlike our previous Harmoneers, who require a particular stat at a particular value, or have to update their sets in order to better support or deal damage for their respective squads, Caelus's current relic loadout allows him to do all of the above, which makes him a very powerful and versatile unit in our Harmony Break team. So having said that, there is one thing that we do have to cover in this gameplay portion, and that is the desired substats that we'll be looking for on said relics. Starting off with break effect, and much like how we are only looking for 120 speed on both Robin and Bronya, on Caelus we will be looking for break effect only up to 250%, just so he can gain the full defense shred from the Iron Cavalry set. Next up, we'll be looking for attack, just to beef up his personal damage a bit. And for the last few substats on the list, we'll be taking on more of a defensive approach, by looking out for effect resistance and defense percent, and just in case that wasn't enough, we'll be looking for a little sprinkle of speed, as well just for good measure. And finally, having covered Caelus's relics and game plan, it is time to talk about Eidolons and the absolute pain in the backside that awaits us in the future. But why is it such a pain? Well, for those unfamiliar with Pinacony, it approaches how you gain constellations quite differently, compared to the previous 2 planets, and not for the better we may add. You see, in the first 2 planets of the game, you earned constellations for that region's Trailblazer through either story progression or from buying them from that planet-specific currency shop. In Pinacony, you have to level up the Clocky statue in order to get said Eidolons, and if you've played Genshin Impact before, this tedious process is quite familiar to you. But belly aching aside, we currently have Caelus at Eidolon level 2, which not only allows him to recover 1 skill point once a fight when using his skill, but also increases his energy regeneration rate by 25% for 3 turns when the battle starts. These 2 Eidolons combined not only keep the squad skill point positive during their first turn of a fight, but also allows Caelus to gain his ultimate quicker, as a result allowing him to enable Super Break Damage for the rest of the squad faster, which in turn also means they can fight at full power quicker with minimum ramp up. You know, our time on this account has been quite enjoyable, and every day we're surprised that little bit more on how potent a full Harmony team actually is. But you know, even though we have quite the roster now and have made a considerable dent in the story, even though we haven't released them yet, those weren't our only goals originally. You see, on top of that, our original goals also included a rather ambitious goal, and that was to beat all the endgame content the game had to provide. So when we were thinking about what to do for this segment, we decided to reach out to you all in a community post for ideas on challenges that you would like to see, and ultimately, we did end up getting a suggestion for this segment. So before we move on to the challenges, we would just like to thank Zoo K6042 for their suggestion, and hey, we hope you enjoy the run, buddy. So now that we had the ideas for the challenges, the issue stemmed on just how we were going to present and choose them. And upon pondering ideas, only one idea stood out to us, and we knew we had to bring back an old friend in order to get the job done. And that old friend is right over now? Which is right. Now where did we put? Oh right, excuse us a moment. There you are. Now let's just get you over here. Phew. Now that we have Old Faithful here, it's time to see what challenges lie ahead for Caelus and the girls. What the? Well, we guess this works too, we suppose. We definitely won't be needing this anymore. So let's just push this right here, and we can begin. Memory of Chaos, well, it certainly has been a while since we last attempted it. So let's see how well our account can handle this now we've powered up, shall we?
3, 2, 1, go!
Catch it in time. sure we got the clue how bad this we go? Don't you know? No more art. And as I look to the horizon, not the cloud, but then storming with it's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere. All around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is the best for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. Think you got your game planned out. Do it deep, get 'em 2 steps ahead, yeah. So step into my way, stand out. It's a trap, one step, and you're dead. Why just a beat to say goodnight with blue skies, but now lightning like your last resort. It's not an accident that no one hears you cries as your last dream seems to deserve. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is the best for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. I'm coming for you. My game's always the best on mine. You're spending but the that you didn't catch it in time. Better think about your game. Are you sure your next move's the right one for you? Are you sure you won't get outmaneuvered again, my friend? You'll never see it coming. You see that my mind is the best for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. I'm coming for you. My game's always the best of mine. You're spending but the net you didn't catch it in time. Try to run me through, hold on, think again. Don't you know what you're starting? You sure we got the clue how bad this we go? Don't you know? No more art. And as I look to the horizon, not the cloud, but then storming with it's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere. All around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is the best for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised.
Well, well, well. We have to say we are quite impressed with the progress our Harmoneers managed to make in the Memory of Chaos, especially given the fact that they're all level 60 with very underperforming relics. We can't be happier with the progress made. And it really does give us hope that we can defeat the subsequent versions of the Memory of Chaos in the future once we do a bit of farming and polish their builds a little bit. And so, with this challenge well and truly done, well, for now at least, it is time for us to return to the wheel to see just where it is that we are off to next. Back again at Old Reliable. Let's give her a spin and see where it is we are off to next, and we're gonna guess that our next challenge is gonna be pure fiction. Equilibrium levels? You know, these Ascension missions are long overdue, and completing them is a good opportunity to see if our Harmoneers can or cannot cope in the higher levels. So without further ado, let's go get him done, shall we? You know, for a mission that's dedicated to increasing the difficulty of the game, that wasn't very difficult. So much so, in fact, we ascended up one more time just to make sure, and yep, it was still quite easy. But you know what? We won't say no to a free challenge from time to time, and as a result, this now means we can now ascend all of our Harmoneers and their light cones to level 80. Meaning it'll soon be time to put the game plans into action, so upon a job well done, and stuffing our pockets with all the loot given to us from Pom Pom, it's time to move on and return to the wheel for the next anniversary challenge of the special. Back again. After the free challenge that was the equilibrium levels, we got an itch for something a bit more challenging, like maybe either the boss rush mode or the apocalyptic shadow. But we won't know unless we spin, so let's just press this here and see where it is that we're off to now. The Echoes of Warha? Yep, that should scratch the itch real good. Now let's see who it is that we'll be throwing hands with in this challenge. We're gonna guess it's either Sunday or Feixiao. Phantylia, we won't lie, we were really expecting Sunday, but hey, we can get behind that too. So without further ado, let's go get it done.
There's a way, kind of breathe out, face reality, never be charity. The enemy, your buddy, covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, then destroy the nation. You run slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then on the rifle. Round up around, spit out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, that this too loud. This won't this sound, and bombs whole round. Surround up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one world, one law. But the battle goes on, shadows all mass destruction. Oh yeah, down, baby, baby, down. Oh yeah, down, baby, baby, down. Oh yeah, down, baby, baby, down. There's a way, kind of breathe out, face reality, never be charity. The enemy, your buddy, covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, then destroy the nation. You run slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then on the rifle. Round up around, spit out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, that this too loud. This won't this sound, and bombs whole round. Surround up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one world, one law. But the battle goes on, shadows all mass destruction. Oh yeah, down, baby, baby, down. Oh yeah, baby, reality, never be charity. The enemy, your buddy, covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, then destroy the nation. You run slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then on the rifle. Round up around, spit out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, that this too loud. This won't this sound, and bombs whole round. Surround up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one world, one law. But the battle goes on, shadows all mass destruction. Oh yeah, down, baby, baby, down. Oh yeah, down, baby, baby, down. is awake and the beast loud face reality. Never be charity. The enemy you're fighting covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, then destroy the nation. You rhyme slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then I'm a rival. Round up around, spit out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in a crowd. Watch out the moon, that this.
You know, fighting Phantylia again made us remember something rather important for this challenge, and that is to always remain grounded, as well as being mindful not to punch up too high. But the most important thing is to always pre-buff with food when attempting the Echo bosses because, good lord, they hurt. But on the plus side with this challenge done, and our itch now scratched, we can now head on back and see what new challenge awaits us now. Back again, and with only 4 of the most difficult challenges left, this is where things get serious. So let's give Old Faithful a spin and see where it is we're off to now. Apocalyptic Shadow. Okay, this is going to prove to be quite interesting as not even our main account has managed to proceed very far into this game mode. So it'll be interesting to see how our Harmoneers stack up in comparison. So without further ado, let's go see how the Harmony fares against the finality. That was more difficult than it had any right to be, but on the plus side, we did manage to complete the first stage of the Apocalyptic Shadow with minor casualties, and before you ask, we're not attempting the other stages yet. No, you can't make us do otherwise. But for now, with this complete, let's return to the wheel and see where it is that we are off to next, so we'll see you all in a moment. Back again, and with 3 challenges left on the wheel, it is time to spin Old Faithful yet again and see what challenge awaits us now. And if we had to guess, we would say our next challenge is going to be the Boss Rush mode. Divergent Universe, a game mode we haven't really touched on this account, and are quite interested to see how our Harmoneers can tackle it. So without further ado, Zuck, this one's for you, buddy. Cue the montage.
Tell me, what do you see? A lunatic now, get like me. It's a rap by the count of 3, and it's all being filmed on Shock TV. Yeah, it's me, I'ma do my best to rip to your chest, mangle your flesh, dangle your neck, fatten my check. I don't really care if I got your respect. I just slaughter, don't be bothered. Watch where you step, it might be hot water. You oughta pay me now, cause right now it's about to go down. You gotta get paid, no gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Jack, he's a psychomaniac, that's right, it's Defo sight. It don't matter who's wrong or right, I just might catch you slipping. Getting paid is my intuition and my ambition. It's the brother city of the siege, more death, more cheese. Gotta get the paper, with Jamaica, and these boss on the Undertaker. And ain't no shortage, you can't be laid off. In fact, rest in chaos. You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Look around, tell me, what do you see? A lunatic now, get like me. It's a rap by the count of 3, and it's all being filmed on Shock TV. Yeah, it's me, I'ma do my best to rip to your chest, mangle your flesh, dangle your neck, fatten my check. I don't really care if I got your respect. I just slaughter, don't be bothered. Watch where you step, it might be hot water. You oughta pay me now, cause right now it's about to go down. You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Jack, he's a psychomaniac, that's right, it's Defo sight. It don't matter who's wrong or right, I just might catch you slipping. Getting paid is my intuition and my ambition. It's the brother city of the siege, more death, more cheese. Gotta get the paper, with Jamaica, and these boss on the Undertaker. And ain't no shortage, I can't be laid off. In fact, rest in chaos. You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Look around, tell me, what do you see? A lunatic now, get like me. It's a rap by the count of 3, and it's all being filmed on Shock TV. Yeah, it's me, I'ma do my best to rip to your chest, mangle your flesh, dangle your neck, fatten my check. I don't really care if I got your respect. I just slaughter, don't be bothered. Watch where you step, it might be hot water. You oughta pay me now, cause right now it's about to go down. You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You gotta get paid, more gas around in this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Jack, he's a psychomaniac, that's right, it's Defo sight. It don't matter who's wrong or right, I just might catch you slipping. Getting paid is my intuition and my ambition. It's the brother city of the siege, more death, more cheese. Gotta get the paper, with Jamaica, and these boss on the Undertaker. And ain't no shortage, I can't be laid off. In fact, rest in chaos. You gotta get paid, More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Look around, tell me what do you see? A lunatic now, get like me. It's a rap by the count of 3, and it's all being filmed on Shock TV. Yeah, it's me, I'ma do my best to rip to your chest, make of your flesh, down to your neck, back my check. I don't really care if I got your respect. I just slaughter, don't be bothered. Watch where you step, it might be hot water. You oughta pay me now, cause right now it's about to go down. You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Jack, he's a psychomaniac, that's right. It's Defo sight. It don't matter who's wrong or right. I just might catch you slipping. Getting paid is my intuition and my ambition. It's the city of the siege. More death, more cheese. Gotta get the paper. We Jamaica. And these boss, I'm the undertaker. And ain't no shortage, I can't be laid off. In fact, rest in chaos. I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Look around, tell me what do you see? A lunatic now, get like me. It's a rap by the count of 3, and it's all being filmed on Shock TV. Yeah, it's me, I'ma do my best to rip to your chest, make of your flesh, down to your neck, back my check. I don't really care if I got your respect. I just slaughter, don't be bothered. Watch where you step, it might be hot water. You oughta pay me now, cause right now it's about to go down. You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Jack, he's a psychomaniac, that's right. It's Defo sight. It don't matter who's wrong or right. I just might catch you slipping. Getting paid is my intuition and my ambition. It's the city of the siege. More death, more cheese. Gotta get the paper. We Jamaica. And these boss, I'm the undertaker. And ain't no shortage, I can't be laid off. In fact, rest in chaos. You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? Look around, tell me what do you see? A lunatic now, get like me. It's a rap by the count of 3, and it's all being filmed on Shock TV. Yeah, it's me, I'ma do my best to rip to your chest, make of your flesh, down to your neck, back my check. I don't really care if I got your respect. I just slaughter, don't be bothered. Watch where you step, it might be hot water. You oughta pay me now, cause right now it's about to go down. You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of this game. It's crazy, I get more money by killing these fools now, ain't that funny? You die, I get paid. More cash, I'm out of...
Well, we have to be honest, we didn't expect to enjoy the Divergent Universe run as much as we did. The sheer luck we had in getting blessings that helped with breaking. Healing and shielding our team was quite outstanding, but on top of being able to tank properly for the first time ever in history of the account, it also felt so good to see our Harmoneers hit for over 200,000 damage on just their basic attacks and just absolutely nuke everything in sight, which we won't lie made our monkey brain go, ooh, big number good. And this is definitely a game mode that we will be tackling more of into the future for the fun factor, if anything else. So now that we've reached the end of this challenge, it's time to head on back to see which challenge we're off to next. And thank you again, Zook, for your suggestion, buddy. This was a really fun suggestion for the anniversary special. Here again, and with 2 challenges left, we are nearing the end of our anniversary special. So without needlessly drawing it out, let's give the roulette a spin to see where we are off to next, shall we? Pure fiction? Now from playing this mode on our main account, we know that it favors erudition type units due to their area of effect attacks. So it'll be quite interesting to see how our Harmoneers can compare, and there's only one way to find out. So let's go get it done, shall we?
really got to leave. I don't hear an automation. All I need is admiration, frustration. Because life is sure we gave a shot. They don't work, and it goes. It's going on and on and on. Signs of life, overshadows my dreams. Baby, don't worry, 'cause you ain't alone. Only time running days without nights. Tease has to. Every time look at the picture in the frame. Gazing fascination, so hard. Used to think there is nothing but love. Place to Signs of love overshadows my dreams. Baby, don't worry, 'cause you ain't alone. Only time running days without nights. Please, that's who's got to leave? Nobody really got to leave. I don't hear an automation. All I need is admiration, frustration. Because life is sure we gave a shot. Didn't work, and it goes. It's going on and on and on. Signs of love overshadows my dreams. Baby, don't worry, 'cause you ain't alone. Only time running days without nights. Tease has to. Every time look at the picture in the frame. Gazing fascination, so hard. Used to think there is nothing but love. Place to Without flowers, forget what they were. Day after day, without flowers frozen in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. And too many fullness, day after day, and too many fullness, day after day. Your affection, take it from me. I'll swear to you when to make yourself happy. Your affection, I'll swear to you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they were. Day after day, without flowers frozen in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. And too many fullness, day after day, and too many fullness, day after day. Your affection, take it from me. I'll swear to you when to make yourself happy.
Oh boy, that run in pure fiction was no joke, and made us rather quickly realize just how unprepared our Harmoneers actually were while they were taking it on. We mean having to exhaust all our cycles during combat, only to complete 2 rounds per fight is rather embarrassing if we're being honest. But hey, now that we know roughly what our Harmoneers are up against, we can prepare much more thoroughly now. And who knows, once we kit out our Harmoneers and complete their game plans, they might be able to sweep through it with a bit more ease. But that's a goal for another time. For now, let's head on back and tackle the last challenge of the special, which is going to prove to be a doozy. Here, we are, ladies and gentlemen, the final challenge of the anniversary, and even though it's a formality at this point in time, it's time to give All Faithful one last spin in order to select our final challenge of the special. Yep, that's right, with the final spin of the wheel, it's time to finish this special in the most fitting of ways, and that is with a good old-fashioned boss rush mode. So without further ado, let's go get it done, shall we?
Wrapped in biting wind, hearts will never bleed, frozen and banished out of grief. In their restless dreams, they try so hard to breathe, pulses flutter and sting within this bleakness. Somehow
let fools blind our sights. Can't make what they say. We'll find our way. We'll find our way. Hands up, the wheels are spinning across the plains and valleys deep to dawn. The wheels that sing an unending dream. Hands up, the tracks are running across
It's finally done, and with the absolute pounding we received from Feixiao and the less than desirable means in which we were able to defeat her, that wraps up the final challenge for our anniversary special. And if Feixiao proved anything, it's that there are many, many more challenges left to overcome with this account in the future, and that we need to start getting ready for them. But that's a journey for another day. But before we sign off and say our farewells, we would just like to leave you all with a few words. Firstly, and the most important ones being, we would like to thank you all for your support on this series. This series means a lot to us, and it warms our heart to see that other people enjoy it as much as we do. So whether you liked, commented, subscribed, or hell, even disliked, thank you. To know people engage with our content really means a lot to us, which leads to the second point we would like to leave you with, and that is over the course of the series, or if you've been watching for a while, you know that we love this series dearly, often saying it's for the challenge it provides, and while that is true, that is only one side of the story. You see, for us, Harmony only is much more than a well-performing series on this channel. It's a personal monument, journey, and reflection for us, cause you see the anniversary of Harmony not only marks the time on the account, it also marks the moment in time we learned to edit videos, and over time has symbolized our journey on that front, which moves little by little with each passing video. Whether that is through trying out new styles to find our perfect mix, planning out stories for our animated skits, or just trying our hand at animation in general. Each passing video marks a minor improvement in the content we make, and this anniversary is just a consolidation of our journey so far, and it symbolizes a day where we took a chance and learned something new. So before we go, we would just like to leave you with some words of advice. And that is, if you're ever up in the air about trying a new hobby or learning something new for fear that you can't do it, or it's too difficult, or you might not be good enough to succeed at it, provided it doesn't impact your life in a not so desirable way, whether that be physically, emotionally, financially, we would like you to take that first step, whether it be teaching yourself a new skill, reading that book you've heard so much about, or even something as simple as taking a stroll around your block. We would like you to give it a go. Now, don't get us wrong. Taking that first step to try to learn something new is a difficult one indeed, and is often the hardest step along that journey. We know that from our experience editing these videos. But once you find your stride, and as long as it's something you love doing, you'll never regret it. We never expected to enjoy creating videos as much as we do, and wholeheartedly expected to give up after a short time. And even though we have burned out in the past, we still managed to come back with our blaze anew, just because we do enjoy it so much. So we guess what we're trying to say in a roundabout kind of way is, hey, it's never too late to learn something new, and who knows, you may just discover something new about yourselves as a result. But with that, we'll leave you all to enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, or evening. And if you got this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to take care, stay safe, and hey, we'll see you next time. Oh, and before we forget, happy anniversary.